Dapatkan gopay ratusan juta rupiah.
But then you have the story of Qatar winning the Asian Cup, which was a big story, but also the World Cup. Many Asian countries getting through their groups and performing really well. So it's level pegging. This is going to be exciting, and I wish all the 24 teams all the very best.
Doing fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. Now, if you would take your position next to your pot, which is country pot number 4. Now, I'll turn my attention to our positional pots here, and we also bring our next Asian luminary to the stage. She made history by becoming the first female to officiate at an AFC Champions League match, and then went on to break barriers right here in Doha last year at the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. Please, a huge round of applause for the referee, Yoshimi Yamashita from Japan. Yoshimi-san, you look wonderful, and thank you for making this effort today and for being with us here today. Okay, well, what I'd like to do, first of all, is just ask you a question. And how was your experience of officiating in Qatar at the FIFA World Cup? And also, what can the match officials, the players, the teams, the fans expect from their experience here in January?
I was very honored and proud to be here. FIFA as a match official of the FIFA World Cup last year, and which was one of the best experience in my career. And the FIFA World Cup in Qatar was flawless. So similarly, the AFC Asian Cup in Qatar, we expect to be the best ever edition.
Absolutely. Arigato. Thank you very much, Yoshimi-san. You may now take your position, of course, behind pots E and F. And I hope that I'm sure you'll make all those right decisions, as you always do on the pitch for the teams here today. Now, we turn our attention back to this side of the stage, and we have the pleasure to invite on stage one of the best players ever to grace the Asian football stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please give us a warm welcome for the 2-time AFC Player of the Year from Uzbekistan, Server Japarov. Great to see you here today. Thanks very much for joining us here in Qatar. Now, you must have very good memories of playing here in 2011, of course, when you led Uzbekistan to a 4th place finish in the tournament, which actually remains to this day the White Wolves' best ever finish at a AFC Asian Cup. So do you think Uzbekistan can equal that performance, or maybe do better this time?
Hello to everybody. 2011 was a great tournament for Uzbekistan, and I have very good memories. And I feel that time we have a great team, and I believe that we will not fear any opponent.
Very good, very positive. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ahmad, thank you so much. Server, you may take your place now and look after the teams in pot 3 today. Now we have our second female guest of the draw. She made her international debut for India at the age of just 17, and then became the first female head coach of their women's team. Please welcome to the stage Miss Memal Rocky. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. Now, India are the only team from the South Zone who have qualified for the AFC Asia Cup Qatar 2023. I'm going to put you on the spot right now to talk about the men's national team. How do you think India will fare here in January?
First of all, it's fantastic for India to be back at AFC Cup again. This is the first time where India has qualified for the consecutive edition, and it's very important for us to perform well and in the Asian level. I'm sure that team has prepared well to their best ability. I hope that we can create history by qualifying from the group stage.
All right,
I wish India all the best and all the teams here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ms. Memal. Right, time for you to get behind the pot now. You're going to be taking your position next to pots C and D. Thank you very much. Now we're going to move on to our next guest, who captained his country at the AFC Asian Cup in 2011. Also, the first Asian player to score in 3 consecutive FIFA World Cups. Please welcome one of the most successful Asian players in history, Mr. Park Ji-sung. Always a pleasure to see you, full of energy. Again, I noticed as well here. Now, of course, you've been here before in 2011 with Korea Republic. You finished 3rd in that tournament. These are really exciting times for Korea Republic football. Recently appointed new head coach, Mr. Jürgen Klinsmann, of course, who's with us here today. Son Heung-min surpassed 100 goals in Premier League football. Kim Min-jae winning Serie A. These are exciting times. So how will Korea Republic do in this tournament?
Yeah, first of all, I'm very proud to have captained my country here in Doha, 2011. And it would be even better if we have lifted the trophy. But now, John, as you mentioned, we have a new coach and players like Son Heung-min, Kim Min-jae, and others. I'm so excited and can't wait for this tournament. And I'm sure they will all do their best to aim for the AFC Asian Cup title.
감사합니다, Ji-sung. Thank you very much indeed. Now, if you'll take your place, of course, next to country pot number 2. Back we go to this stage, and another Asian legend, someone who is widely regarded as one of the best women's players of all time. Let us now welcome Sun Wen from the People's Republic of China to the stage. Sun, thank you so much for joining us here today. Great to have you with us at this special event. Now, China PR currently are the AFC Women's Asian Cup champions. The men's national team, their best finishes, a couple of second places, the most recent in 2004 when they hosted and finished 2nd. How do you think China will fare this time?
Well, this will be the 13th time for China team playing at this stage. I think the team has to believe in themselves that they can do well, and I'm sure they can show everyone what they can do.
All right. Yes, yeah, thank you very much. Then, now you may take your place behind the pots, which are for positional A and B. Thank you very much, Ms. Sun. Now, last but certainly not least, we have one more space to fill. I know this is somebody who you've been waiting for. The captain of Qatar's historic first ever triumph in the AFC Asian Cup back at the last edition in 2019. He will actually be holding the AFC Asian Cup trophy, which his team picked up 4 years ago, as he'll be handing it back to the AFC. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. Give a very warm welcome to the stage to Hassan Al-Hedous. We do have a silverware handover, and to receive this remarkable trophy, which of course was introduced, this particular trophy, for the first time at the 2019 edition, please put your hands together once more, this time to welcome the AFC General Secretary, Datuk Sri Windsor John.
Fantastic fans, and we will try to do everything to make them proud.
Well, I wish you all the very best. Shukran. Thank you so much,
very much.
Hassan.
Thank
You may now take your position next to country pot 1. And now, Datuk Sri, it's time, of course, for you to give us a little bit of a sense of what's the mood like in the room here, and of course, your feeling. How are you feeling ahead of the final draw?
Hello, John. I mean, I'm pleased to be here, of course, and like everyone else here, and also fans of Asian football. I just want to see how all this pans out later. So it's time.
It's time. It's going to be exciting. It really is. Okay, I think you've summed it up perfectly there. If you'd like to take your position as our draw conductor. So, as you can see now, the draw is about to get underway. Our draw assistants are all in position here. Our draw conductor is ready, and I will hand over to him. So let's have one more round of applause, please, for the AFC General Secretary, Datuk Sri Windsor John, who'll take you through the main event.
Thank you, John. The trophy is back in our hands, and all our draw assistants are in position. There are now 24 teams waiting to fight for the trophy. So let's find out who will face each other in the group stage of this competition now. So to kick us off, let's take a look at the teams in pot 4. I'm sure everyone is ready. Here we go. Tim, as explained in the draw mechanism, to start from pot 4, could you please take the first ball out?
Tajikistan.
Tajikistan, the only debutants in this edition. Tajikistan sealed their place by winning Group F in the final round of qualification. So they will be now in Group A. Sunwen, would you please take the position of Tajikistan?
A3.
So Tajikistan will be placed in position 3 of Group A. Thank you very much. Next ball, please, Tim.
India.
Runner-up in 1964 edition, India have qualified for the consecutive edition for the first time. So let's see where India is in the next spot, Group B.
B4.
India will be placed in position 4 in Group B. Excellent. Tim?
Hong Kong, China.
Hong Kong, China, the first ever host of this prestigious tournament. Hong Kong, China returned to AFC Asian Cup for the first time since 1968 and are poised for their 4th appearance in Qatar. So they are in Group C. Memol, would you please take one ball and see which position?
C3.
C3. Hong Kong, China PR will be in position 3 in Group C. We move on to the next.
Indonesia.
Indonesia were co-hosts in 2007, will be making their 5th appearance. Right, Memol, one more from your side to determine in Group D.
D2.
So they will be placed, Indonesia will be placed in position number 2 in Group D. We move on next. Ball in pot 4.
Malaysia.
Malaysia, who were co-hosts in 2007, are appearing at the AFC Asian Cup for the 4th time. Yoshimi-san, please.
E2.
Malaysia will be placed in position number 2 in Group E. And that leaves Tim, the last ball in the pot.
Thailand.
This will be Thailand's 8th appearance, and they made it to round of 16 in 2019. So let's see which position they will be in Group F.
F2.
So Thailand will be in position number 2 in Group F. So that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes pot 4. And thank you very much. And we now move on to pot 3. And before that, let's take a look at the teams from pot 3. Right, Chaparov, would you please take the first ball?
Lebanon.
Host of 2000 edition, Lebanon will be making their 3rd appearance, this time in Qatar. Sunwen, let's see which position Lebanon will be placed in Group A.
A4.
A4, Lebanon. Thank you. Next ball, please, Chaparov.
Syria.
Syria will be making their 7th appearance in the tournament in this edition after qualifying for the 2019 tournament in the UAE. And they will be placed in Group B. So let's find out the position.
B3.
So they will be positioned in position B3. Right, we move on to the next ball, Japarov.
Palestine.
Palestine group winners during the final round of qualification and will be making their 3rd appearance. Memol, would you please draw one ball to determine the position Palestine in Group C.
C4.
Palestine will be placed in position 4 in Group C. Thank you. We move on to the next ball.
Vietnam.
Vietnam reached the quarterfinals in the previous edition in 2019 and will be making their 5th appearance. So let's look at the position of Vietnam in Group D.
E4.
So Vietnam will be placed in position number 4 in Group D. Next ball, please.
Bahrain.
Bahrain Group E winners during the final round of the qualification, and this will be Bahrain's 7th appearance, and they reached the round of 16 in 2019, and they will be in Group E. So Yoshimi-san.
E4.
Bahrain, position number 4 in Group E. Thank you. We move to the next and final ball from pot 3.
Kyrgyz Republic.
Kyrgyz Republic reached the round of 16 in their debut in the previous edition and are the only team out of the 3 2019 debutants to qualify for the 2023 edition. So that concludes pot 4 and pot 3. And before, we have to select the position. Yeah.
F3.
Right, they will be positioned in position number 3 in Group F. Excellent. So that concludes now pot 4 and 3. And before we move on to pot 2, let's have a recap of the teams in pot 2. Right, we have the teams now, and Jisung, first ball from pot 2.
China PR.
The 2023 edition will be the 13th appearance of China PR, and they were runners-up in 1984 and 2004. China PR advanced to the round of 16 in 2019. So let's find out which position they will be in Group A.
A2.
Naturally, they will be placed in position number 2 in Group A. Right? Next ball, please, Jisung.
Uzbekistan.
This is Uzbekistan's 8th consecutive appearance, and they were semi-finalists in the 2011 edition held in Qatar, where draw assistant Server Japarov contributed 2 goals. They reached the round of 16 in 2019. So let's see where they will be placed in Group B.
B2.
So they will be placed in position number 2 in Group B. Thank you. We move on to the next ball, Yusong.
United Arab Emirates.
Host of the last edition where they reached the semi-finals, UAE will be making their 11th appearance in January here in Qatar. So let's see where they will be in Group C, Memol.
C2.
Yes, they will be positioned in position number 2 in Group C. Great, let's move on.
Iraq.
Iraq made history in 2007 with a memorable title win, and this edition will be their 10th appearance. They advanced to the round of 16 in 2019. So let's see where they will be placed in Group D.
D3.
So Iraq is in position number 3 in Group D. Right, we move on to the next, the last 2 balls.
Jordan.
This will be Jordan's 5th appearance in the AFC Asian Cup. They were quarterfinalists in 2011 and reached the round of 16 in 2019. And they will be in Pot E.
E3.
Position E3 for Jordan in Group E. And the last ball in Pot 2.
Oman.
The 2023 edition will be the 5th appearance for Oman, and they advanced to the round of 16 in 2019, which was their best ever finish. And let's see their position in Group F.
F4.
Oman will be in position 4 in Group F. So 3 down, 1 to go, and now for the final round of the draw, we have 6 teams left standing, and they are all top seeded teams. So before we do the draw, let's have a video. Excellent. Now Qatar will be drawn first from Pot 1, explained in the draw mechanism previously, and they are identified with a different colored ball and will be placed in position A1 as host. Hassan?
Qatar.
Qatar, position A1. The defending champions, Qatar, are hosting the AFC Asian Cup for the record third time, more than any other MA in the tournament history. Right, next ball, please.
Australia.
Australia, champions in 2015 on home soil when draw assistant Tim Cahill scored 3 goals. Australia were quarterfinalists in 2019. So let's move on to the next one for Group C.
Islamic Republic of Iran.
3 times champions and semi-finalists in 2019, Iran will be making their 15th appearance at the AFC Asian Cup, and they are placed, of course, in position 1 in Group C. Okay, next ball, and this is for Group D.
Japan.
Japan are the current record holders with 4 title wins and won the AFC Asian Cup here in Qatar in 2011. And they were runners-up in the previous edition in 2019. And great, they are in Group D, right? Last 2 balls.
Korea Republic.
2 times champions after consecutive victories in 1956 and 1960, Korea Republic are making their 15th appearance, joint most with IR Iran, and they were quarterfinalists in 2019. And they are placed in Group E, and the final ball. Hassan?
Saudi Arabia.
3 times champions in 1984, 1988, and 1996. Saudi Arabia reached the round of 16 in 2019 and will be the host of the 2027 edition. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is how the final draw of the AFC Asian Cup Qatar 2023 looks like. And I pass the floor now to John.
Thank you very much, Datuk Sri Windsor and our 7 drawer assistants. A very complicated process, impeccably conducted there. Well done to all of you. Now, we look forward to seeing all of you guys back here in January 2024, whether you're going to be supporting your teams, Tim, Server, Ji-sung, Ms. Sun, I guess you might be as well, yes, Ms. Memal as well, or whether you are going to be running the competition. Obviously, Datuk Sri, whether you're going to be officiating in the case of Yoshimi-san here, or whether you're going to be defending your crown here in the case of Hassan. I wish you all the very, very best. So once again, everybody, please join me in showing your appreciation as well to our draw conductor and all of our draw assistants. Ladies and gentlemen, you may now return to your seats. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, what we'd like to do right now, and obviously during the course of that draw, we were able to see some reaction as it unfolded before us, and a few gasps and a few smiles and all sorts of emotion on show here. We'd like to get some instant reaction, though, from somebody who's going to be involved in this tournament. One of the game's true legends is going to be joining us right now. We're talking about a FIFA World Cup winner, and of course now the head coach of Korea Republic, German icon Jürgen Klinsmann, who has been recently appointed head coach, who is arguably, I suppose, as a team, one of the favorites of the tournament. And Jürgen, thank you so much for taking the time here to give us an instant spot reaction to what you've just seen. First things first, how excited are you about being involved in the AFC Asian Cup Qatar 2023, and what did you make of the draw?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for welcoming me here to Asia. It's a real big excitement for me. It's a new learning curve, and being part now of the Asian family is something very special. So I really appreciate it. The draw is exciting. For me, it's all about learning now, learning about the opponents, learning about the teams, learning about all the coaches that are here and getting to meet them. And I'm sure it will be a fantastic tournament because the World Cup was an outstanding, unbelievable, beautiful tournament. So we will have a lot of fun.
Absolutely. I thank you very, very much indeed for that. You're going to wish you, Korea Republic, and of course all the rest of the teams, all the very best of success. Let me just quickly recap what we've seen here. We're just still trying to process what we've seen. Looking at Group A, obviously we have Qatar and Lebanon. They actually met in the 2019. They were in the same group stage there, along with China, PR, and debutants Tajikistan there. Group B has thrown up an interesting one in that we have Australia and Uzbekistan. Australia obviously beating Uzbekistan in the round of 16 in 2019 on penalties. Syria and India also involved in that. In C, we have the Islamic Republic of Iran, UAE, Hong Kong, China, and Palestine. Of course, Hong Kong, China returning after some 55 years to this tournament. They're in some very distinguished company in that group there. We, of course, have in Group D 2 former winners, in that we have the most successful nation in the history of this tournament in Japan, but we also have 2007 champions, Iraq, as well, and with them 2 Southeast Asian nations in Indonesia and Vietnam in a fascinating group. On to E right now, and I think for Malaysia's head coach, Kim Pang-on, the presence of Korea Republic is going to be something that will have caught his attention as well. Jordan and Bahrain, who have finished so strongly in qualifying as well. That adds up to a very powerful group indeed. And lastly, in Group F, of course, we have Saudi Arabia, Thailand, the Kyrgyz Republic, and Oman, and that promises to be very, very special indeed. Right, you will all have your say on this and your thoughts on this one, and I'm sure that will continue now as we conclude the draw. And let's just remind you one more time that we now know that that opening match is going to be played on January the 12th, 2024. And once again, of course, it's going to be Qatar and the team in A4's position there, and that means it is going to be Lebanon in action at the Al Bayt Stadium here in Qatar. So we are coming to the end of proceedings right now after all that excitement. I hope all of you had a fantastic afternoon here at the Qatar Opera House, and I hope that you're all looking forward to a truly spectacular AFC Asian Cup Qatar 2023. I know I am, that's for sure. My name's John Dykes. It's been my absolute honor to be your host today, but now, from Doha, it's goodbye.